The Uganda Martyrs, comprising 20 Catholics and 2 Anglicans, were executed between 1885 and 1887 by King Mwanga II of Uganda for refusing to renounce their Christianity. June 18, 1964 marked a historic day for the Catholic Church in Africa as Pope Paul IV canonized 22 Ugandan martyrs, recognizing their unwavering commitment to their faith. Today, the Uganda martyrs are revered as patron saints of Africa, inspiring generations with their courage and conviction. At St. Mary's National Major Seminary, Gaba, this year's canonization anniversary celebrations were blended with soul-stirring performance by the choir, whose uplifting rendition primed the atmosphere for divine inspiration. After an hour of a celestial musical experience, retired Lady Justice Christine Nakaseta Binaisa Kitumba presented a well-articulated memorial lecture about the spiritual journey of the Catholic martyrs, which left an everlasting imprint among the listeners.
After the execution of the leader, Joseph Mukasaba, the Christian community was unsettled. They thought that similar matter might happen to them. They might be treated in the same way. However, they were determined to remain steadfast in their faith and were aware of the imminent danger. Some went to the mission to be baptized. Some, like Ambrose Ibuka, went to their homes to tell their relatives that things were bad, they might be killed because of their religion. Of course, the parents of the relatives advised them to stop the faith, to stop Catholicism. However, they refused.
Reverend Father Richard Nyombi, the coordinator of the Society of Missionaries of Africa in Uganda under the Kampala Archdiocese, says this is the right moment for all Catholic devotees to look back, meditate upon the spiritual journey of the canonized martyrs, and also assess their performance in following their footsteps in terms of spiritual, moral, political, and social ways.
A challenge to us. Today we ask ourselves, how have we fared to follow in the footsteps of the Ugandan martyrs? All the challenges we have, the moral and spiritual challenges we have in this country. When we look back at the lives of the Ugandan martyrs, I think we can learn from them a lot to be able to face those challenges, moral, spiritual, and even I think all that will come, economical, political, leadership, and so on, by going back to the roots of our moral and spiritual teachings of the church. I think for the Ugandan martyrs we have a lot to learn.
It's upon this ground that the Kampala Archdiocese Archbishop His Grace Paul Semogerere, through His Excellence, the Most Reverend Augustine Kasuja, implored all the faithful to emulate the Uganda martyrs.
It is my hope, continues the Archbishop, that this peregrination has revived our devotion to the Ugandan martyrs by learning more about them, but more so by praying through their intercession. It is also my hope and prayer that the graces received through this spiritual exercise will empower the revived Uganda Martyrs Guild to become a real living monument of the life and the death of our martyrs.
According to the Archbishop, the Uganda Martyrs' legacy stretches beyond Uganda's boundaries, justifying his repeated demand for establishing a monument of the Uganda Martyrs at the airport.
On that occasion, I requested the government of Uganda to put up a monument of the Uganda Martyrs at the Entebbe airport, considering the fact that these martyrs have made this country more known all over the world than anything else. I was promised that a follow-up will be made on this point. Since the 14th of September, these relics are accessible to the public for veneration in the exhibition on the Ugandan Martyrs, Canonization at 60.
While receiving the first-class relics of 2 Uganda martyrs from Rome at Entebbe Airport last month, the Archbishop proposed for the establishment of Uganda Martyrs Monument at Entebbe Airport in acknowledgement of the magnitude of pilgrims drawn to Uganda on their account, which also boosts the tourism sector in the country, especially during the 3rd June Namugongo Martyrs Day. Story compiled by Joseph Kabale for UCTV News.